Good morning. Welcome to OptionsTender. It is Free Friday. Congratulations, Bulls. We're starting to break out, so we can now eliminate that bearish look. And I have some timing for you today. Maybe we get a pause here today, but we're looking for higher prices. Now, I'm going to give you those targets. You can already see some lines here on the traditional look. But when you're measuring out this last wave here, I mean, this thing brings you to 6,500 or more. So let's see what happens. The big question is this move here going to be 2008, where you get your nominal high and we continue lower? There's also a situation where you have a pullback and then you go higher. But this initial move, being an impulse move, we want to know when this ends, and then we can talk about what we talk about often, extensions. And we'll talk about it on the lower time frame. We'll talk about it on the higher time frame, where this is a possible wave 1 instead of wave 5. All right, so that's the big question we have here. Well, first of all, we're doing this intraday about 11:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's 99 cents a month, and that comes with the Discord and trade alerts. We have not had any... excuse me. I was looking at something else here. Let's go ahead and look through all the indicators. And we'll do that on the 65, and we'll check out to see what the VIX is doing as well. And BYG in the Discord pointed out the VVIX, and so I want to give that some credit there. Looking at, I do think that the VVIX is telling us that we're probably coming into some danger here pretty soon. And then on the 65, we don't have any divergence that we were talking about yesterday. We don't have it yet because we didn't pull back yet. So we're still looking for a pause and then a move higher at this point, even if we're only going to get to this white line here or any of these three targets here. That's really just about 6,200 to, let's call it 6,300. And then we'll look at those major targets up top as well. Okay. All right. We have SPX on the daily time frame. Get a little bit closer here. We're breaking out at this point. So you see a nice big Maribozu candle. We have the moving averages that are still in a bullish stance. We can take this line out, keep the charts clean. And what was possible, here's the extension. What was possible was this was the top, okay? It had that visual of looking like a top, and this looks exactly the same on NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a leading diagonal, okay? And I think this is the same concept. This was a leading diagonal into a 1 instead of a 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That could have been done right there. It did not. It corrected, a very shallow correction right into the moving averages. Again, that 8 momentum indicator and the 20 trend indicator. And so the trend is still up. Momentum is up and clearly gaining speed. So this gives us a characteristic of a 1, 2, wave 3, and then we're looking for a wave 4 somewhere in here, and a wave 5 higher. Now this can all happen and lose momentum. It doesn't look like it. I'm saying it, but it doesn't look like it's losing. It looks like it's gaining momentum. So this could be a shorter wave 3. You have wave 1, 2, shorter wave 3, a very small wave 4 into wave 5 and be done. Or this really starts to pan out, and we'll do that in just a second here. So here's our McClellan oscillator. Here's our breadth indicator. We're getting back up into that overbought territory. All right, still, I know it's still going higher. We talked about it here. here, still a negative divergence. This is going to end. I know it's very hard. With this extension, this could go all the way back up to, extreme situations, maybe 200, 190 or so, and still be a negative divergence. When this quits, it will let us know. Okay. In this MACD RSI, now we're burning through this divergence here. Okay, and that's clearly because the extension happened. And so we're getting new highs. It's still a lower high from the previous top here. But what could happen in the near term is this be a negative divergence from this top, and this get another lower high, and that ends up being our 3 peak. All right, and we're getting the crossover up here, still negative divergence, but a crossover. We're getting green histograms. That's you can't deny that. We're not adding any puts here. I'm telling you that now. All right. Actually, we're gonna look for some long setups. We're gonna add some put protection here. So we have some things to go through, because this can just continue if it wants to. By no means am I know all the haters. Are you turning bullish now, right at the top? No, not exactly. Still looking for this to reverse. I'm looking for a reversal. DMARC. All right, we're at a 9 count. Next week, we should see a 13. So that would be our 9, 9, 13. We'll be looking for that setup. All right, still negative divergence, even though we're getting some green bars. And I know exactly on the lower time frame what we're looking at for a short setup. So don't get me wrong, I'm not changing. We talked about this situation on the weekly time frame, the weekly analysis, and we're going to do it again as well. So here's the money flow index on SPY. All right, still getting lower highs. Money is flowing out. It's distribution. Can this go higher and kind of burn this negative divergence and go into the overbought territory? It can, but it's not showing us that yet. Okay, so I still believe this is distribution. This move may almost be done, and that's how I'm going to play it. And you'll see those that reflected in the Discord. Bollinger Band, still sell signal. It's pushing. There's no volume up here, so we have no idea where things are going to stop. We only have those few situations, and I do have a video where you can measure at all-time highs. You can measure some of these possible reversal spots there. I'll try to look that up and put it on this video here up top. So the Elliot oscillator, same thing. We're still looking, even though this is coming up higher, it still could come up a little bit higher. And all this is telling us is we're going from wave 3 up to wave 5. The thing was, it could have ended there. Again, wave 5 here, but now we're looking for extension. So now we're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what does this look like on here? So here's our situation. We're still looking at this as being a 5-wave impulse move here. I say still, but on this board. All right. I know we had another bearish board there, but this is the bullish one. And I think we're going to make a high coming up soon here in the overall picture of things. And we're going to get a correction. And that's going to be the big area that we have to look out for to see if we go up to new highs. So here in the short term, I'm wondering if I should do this on the 65. I don't want this to be too crunched up. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'll give you this big picture. I think this will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here somewhere. wherever that goes. And then we'll have an A, and we'll be looking for, I think that will be the top. So we have a 5 here. That could be the top. But if we hold and go fill this out, and here's the formation. If you're new here, here's the expanded ending diagonal for this blow off top for the market, bull market to end. So all these waves are 3 waves, all right? A, B, C into 1, A, B, C 2, A, B, C 3, A, B, C 4. All this is expanding. Notice that each leg is expanding here. So it can 5 be done here whenever this ends? Or is this just an A? And again, these are zigzags. So 5, 3, 5. If that's the case and price holds, a wave B, whether that's up here, down here, wherever the price might be, then you're looking at targets that are possibly 700 and even 750 up here, depending on how long this takes. We could see a pullback for a couple or a few weeks, and then maybe a blow off top up here. I'm not in that camp because of the evaluations. Can it happen? I can't tell you that it can't happen, but the evaluations tell me that what we're seeing is probably a nominal high to trap all the bulls, and then we see this breakdown. But this whole plan here is valid until we break down from this low. Probably this trend here, but this low would be the nail in the coffin right there. Okay, so we do have our retracements from this low, and then we'll adjust it as price goes higher to where this 382 would be our first real Fibonacci cluster. All right, that would close the gap here. And so that would be our first big test if this is to remain bullish. All right, and notice when price down here, you're starting to get momentum. So the corrections are really steep as opposed to the moves higher. And then going from 1 to 2, it gets bigger. But in each of these legs, A to B, notice how wave 3, A to B, I mean, you're really only getting that B wave. It didn't even make it to the 382 retracement. Do you see what I mean? So I don't see a real big retracement happening if this is to be an A, but we never know what B is. B is the hardest thing to trade. It can be anything. It can be a zigzag. It can be a triangle. It can be a flat pattern. Okay, so we can go sideways for a while. B's are very difficult when this does correct, but I suspect that it would be pretty shallow. As a matter of fact, if you match this with our moving averages, who knows? Everything's curling up. Oh, we're getting I love to see this because we got our what was that, the bear cross, I forget what you call it, the 50 crossing underneath the 200. That's the time to buy. Well, people are going to be screaming about golden cross, death cross, golden cross, and they're going to be screaming that, and that's when this is going to top. I mean, it's coming up really soon. I think it could be next week when we see this top here, and then we'll see what holds. So if we're to hold any of these moving averages, it'd be such a shallow retracement to the 23.6 perhaps. But I could see this, being real sharp if this is to be bullish. Honestly, I'm not in that camp. Not that our valuations are probably around 215, 210% on the Buffett indicator right now. That's just crazy insane. I can't imagine if it made it up to 700, 750. What are we at? 250% of GDP? I don't know about that. anyway, so if this is to be bullish, maybe you see a nice reaction here, a sharp move for a B wave, and then we get back on top of these moving averages. So in other words, what I'm getting at is when we do find a top here, somewhere up here, we're looking to see how the moving averages take place. Do we go under them and then we zip back on top like this? Do we break underneath them and then boom, regain them? If that's the case, then you're going to see that bullish scenario play out. Basically like a fake break, right? Okay, so this is the only board we need at this point. I can get rid of all these. I need to do that in my own time, but I'm not because I keep forgetting. We don't need these extensions. Okay, that just, it's better for the eyes. Okay, so anyway, that's our higher time frame analysis there, where we're either done with this wave 5 or it's an A, B, and then a 5 perhaps way up here to end at the top of this expanding wedge. All right, let's check out VVIX on the daily. Starting to rise here. Not in any danger territory. I kind of have these marked off as like a danger zone. We're pretty safe in this zone underneath. And so the market's bullish. And then we'll see if this continues to take off there. But a green day here on a bullish day. And I suspect that as we get near our top, the VIX will be green as well. But holding up really well. Into our low zone. It's holding up really well with the market rising as it is. So that's, again, a signal. We have a low, low, low. This could be a three trough here and going higher. So let's go to SPY on the 65. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but in 2008, we had our high. And the high, the next high before the breakdown was about 1%, about 1.5%, I believe. And so that's just, I mean, it's really, really close. Bring us to about 620, I think. Okay, so this is really actually, oh, you know what? We're also getting into a timing cluster on the daily time frame. We're getting into that cluster. It starts today. I'm not saying it's going to reverse today, but we might get a pause because on the 65. But we're looking at this cluster being all of next week. Okay? It really looks good here for reversal. So let's see what happens. Now on the 65, we have our traditional look here. And we can kind of take out, even though you can count this any way you want, you could have the 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then an extension into 5. That's fine. It's fine and dandy. It's all speculative. But after we broke out from this channel here, I'm not looking at it the same way. We're going to start looking at this. Here's an expanded move here. That's one way. If this gets in confluence, let me put the extension on. There you go. So we have some confluence here with a possible expanding wedge here. And then we'll look for any sort of negative divergence getting into this confluence of the wedge on the lower time frame and that the highs that connect way back when. We had this drawn a long time ago. And so this was the top here. It doesn't quite touch this top, and that's fine. So it might actually be a little bit lower where this happens, but here's the top there. So this will be kind of our benefit of the doubt where it should go up to. And this is where I think the market is likely to end. But again, that's that 620, 621 or so. But again, it's very difficult to really it's going to be an objective short for us. Let me say it like that. All right, so let's look at some of the indicators while this is happening. You have the moving averages, clearly bullish. And you have the RSI that totally burnt all of those divergences. Okay, so we're in that new leg. This is done. This is a 1 into a 2. That's what that says to me. So we're in wave 3. We're burned all the divergences. We're getting really, really hot. So I think wave 4 is imminent. And what we'll look for in the very near term, after we get that wave 4 correction, let's see if we can take some of this off here. I don't know how low we'll go, maybe to 50, maybe 60, the correction. And then we'll look for a divergent high. All right. So that's going to, it should be pretty apparent when this leg is about to be done. And maybe we see that into the resistance zone here. So right now, I just think higher. I don't think this is done, according to the indicators. Okay, not according to my opinion. My opinion is that we go up here and we drop. The indicators are just telling me that we have higher to go. And if you look in here, you can see a 1, 2, and this is possibly 3, 4, and 5 for the third leg. And then we'll get the other wave 4. I'll show you that count in a minute. DMARC. All right, so we're getting a 9.9 sell. Again, that can mark a miniature top for a wave 4. Very similar to here, and we made a new high. Or it could correct sideways like this one, and then you go get your new high. So the 9 count exhaustion, along with the timing, and then we have, I'll show you the 65-minute timing as well. Awesome oscillator making a new high. That should have a little correction and make a lower high. That's what we're going to look for in the near term coming up soon here. Money flow. All right, we're getting back into that overbought territory. This is done. We don't need that anymore. We had the correction, and now we're into a new leg. And so what we should see is overbought, which we're there, a correction, and a lower high. So in the near term, we want to see something like this, something like this. It could be a little bit closer. Doesn't have to be so spread apart. All right, so we want to see a correction maybe Monday or Tuesday, perhaps close the gap. It doesn't even have to correct that much. You can go sideways and then a little bit higher. Bollinger Band, again, we have a sell signal matching the daily and the hourly. So we could see that correction happen even by the end of today. I doubt it because of it's a trend day, but we'll see. And on the Elliot oscillator, again, very similar to the Awesome oscillator. So we should see a low come in here and then a lower high. We're looking for a divergence to mark the top here. Again, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and done, but it just doesn't signal that. Nothing is giving me a setup that this is just done here after this breakout. All right, so another look at this is that we have today a little cluster. There's a couple Fibonacci's that come into today going into the weekend. So today could be a mark of a reversal. Maybe we gap down Monday and get bought. All right. So whatever the case is, or maybe we have a pause day on Monday, burn off some of that overbought situation condition, and then go for a new high with lower highs on our indicator. All right, what else? Okay, now we only have this last wave scenario. So here's our full Elliott wave analysis. So we have our 1, 2, all this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 3. And you notice that the wedge broke down into wave 4. And I know I have it drawn different on SPX. So our wedge broke down, we back tested, and now this is the beginning. In hindsight, this was, in our mind, this was the ending diagonal. Well, that turned out to be a leading diagonal. So the diagonal was correct, the direction was wrong. It broke down, and we did take some profit off of that one, but we lost money on the move up. We had some calls here and then took them off right away, thinking that this might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now this is breaking out to new all-time highs. This seems very apparent that this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave for a leading diagonal into a 1, correction into a 2, and now we're going for a 3, 4, and 5. So I think this is going to end up being shallow. We get our wave 4 in here. Okay, so we get our 3, 4, and 5 into here. I think I have too many fives. Fives of fives of fives. And I don't want to put a 1 in here because that will confuse. And so this is what we're kind of looking at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think that's going to be done into that trend line that we're talking about from the former highs. Now, if you didn't know, if you didn't have this trend line here and you're just traditionally working things out, you have this leading diagonal and you pull out your extension tool, and from wave 1 into 2, it would be very typical for the 162 extension to hit. That's at at about 640 for this wave 3. All right, I'm not sure it's going to make it up there, but that would be your typical target from wave 1 into wave 2 into 3 and then 4, 5. So you could see much higher prices coming up if that's the case. Again, I'm not there. I think that we're gonna take our first short at that, our next short at that trend line that's about 620 or something like that. And we should see if this is just about done. You should see a nice correction here. If this wave 3 is not done, this should just be relentless. You should just see it go without any correction. So in that case, on a much lower scale, this would be a 1, 2, and maybe 3 and 4, and just continue to be relentless to the upside. And the daily candles just continue to be green, 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 up to 640. All right, that's huge move, but anything's possible. That's already proved itself. And again, extension. So after this is done, whether it's here, so we have timing in place. We have all sorts of things telling us it could be done here if it continues up here. The whole point is when this is done. When this is done, we should see a larger correction for an ABC into an A. And this could end up being an impulse. So we'll look for a 3 or 5 wave. Nothing's going to be easy to tell. And then after that, is this an A into B, or is this just entire move done? Bull market's over and we continue lower. All right, that's what I got for you. And something else too, I was mentioning this to members. I know this is the boring aspect of TNX, and we continue to talk about this, but it's not starting to stretch out at this point. This shouldn't be so. It should be more like this to the upside. This looks very corrective in my opinion, and either way, no matter what. So I think this looks more like it's flagging in some sort of way. We'll see. We have positive divergence and such. So what am I getting at? Let's get a different look here. So far, I mean, it's just bearish at this point. But let's be neutral. I think. Okay, so here it's more like a bull flag. Let's go to the weekly. It's more like a bull flag, and we're just consolidating, right? But it looks bearish in this move right now. So when this does break out, whether downside or upside, this says recession. We break out to the downside, it says recession. It's going to force the Fed to cut. We move to the upside. That means that we're probably getting into stagflation. The 1970s, the breakout is. I mean, I can even go higher. The breakout would be very bad for the economy, for businesses, yields being higher. Really, we're just in a sweet spot where the market can be happy. And does this break down from this point, or does it break up? Doesn't matter to me. It's going to affect the market in a little bit different way. The market should react off of it and be dragged down by either tech or to the upside and be dragged down by small caps and mid caps that can't afford those high yields using all of its debt, that sort of thing. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. For now, it's sideways. And that's what I have for you. Looks like we're getting a little bit weaker so far, but nothing to really explain. I think that maybe we get our wave 4 in here pretty soon. Okay, let me get this out to you. Sorry to drag it on so long, but things change and we have to change with it. And this helps us narrow it down a little bit more now that we have our higher high. And I'm looking for a 2008 style top, and we'll see if that happens. Have a good day and have a great weekend. We'll do the weekend analysis tomorrow and or Sunday. A lot of times I don't get it out till Sunday because I have the members videos to do. So thanks for joining us here at OptionsTender. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.